what is happening, everybody? In this video, we're going to be jumping into a no-tech, quick and dirty webinar, and I would highly recommend everybody start out with this process before moving to a weekly or an every other week or a once a month thing for a slew of reasons. And this is based off of my own experience. I absolutely love the concept and the framework of webinars, but for most people, it's a matter of getting reps under our belt to be able to convert effectively, and we don't want to overwhelm ourselves with anxiety of having this like big event out in the future, and not only that, spend a bunch of money on ads in order to hope people show up, and just to have like the littlest thing go wrong down the road to throw everything off. So anyway, what do I mean by quick and dirty? And this is not the quickest and dirtiest, but this is going to be a very easy to implement and rock and roll. So right here, we are literally just doing a calendar link, and this calendar link is going to give people the opportunity to select a time and book a call. Now right here, this one is set up, and we'll get into this exact framework of this, but this one's set up for the same time every week at the same, like once a week at the same schedule. Now what I would recommend is to do this. You can do this every single day. You can have it at the same time every single day, multiple times a week. Pick and choose your different times. And the reason I say this is the more people that you can get to schedule, you're going to have the more availability time-wise, more people are going to schedule. The sooner it is to the availability, the event to the availability when they book it, the higher the show rate is. So if somebody's booking a call and it's later on that afternoon, the probability of them booking that when they know they have it available and showing is significantly higher than, say, next Thursday at 7 p.m. Ultimately, you can get to that type of a framework, but getting reps under your belt and getting more people showing up to your classes, to your events, is going to increase your show rate, increase your reps, the number of times that you're giving this presentation, because just like anything else, it takes effort, it takes time, and it takes practice to get good at something. So why not practice on just a handful of people and not have to spend any money getting them to do it? So again, here's an example. I'm going to jump into right now walking through setting all this stuff up. So right now we are in calendars. So we're in the back end, we're in settings and calendars. Now I'm going to pull this up, but if you wanted to create a new one, you can just hit this blue button and hit create calendar. This one is set up for round robin. The duration is 60 minutes and it's active, but I'm going to jump in and I'm going to edit this right from here. So I'm just going to jump in here. Now, you can add any calendar logo right here, square, circle, the dimensions. When you click on it, it'll show you that. Now this is the name of your calendar. This is what's going to show up here. So if you want to name it something specific, it could be, properties in X city. Typically when you're marketing something, the more in alignment that all of your stuff has, so this could be like first time home buyer program or new construction programs or down payment assistance programs or whatever you want your webinar to be on, you can do this. Now that's the title there. Now right here we have this little description. In this section here, and I'll share this down below, you can write out whatever you want here, but typically, we want to call out our audience, give some value props. If there's any free things that they're going to be showing or bullet points, we don't want to overwhelm people with information. So typically there's going to be like 3 things that you're going to be talking on. So it's like the 3 C's of home buying, like credit, capacity. So just keeping it simple, but you can do this. I'll share this as an example. Now this is a group. You can have this is for like, sales or fulfillment. You can have different groups of different categories of things. So right now that's not really necessary for that. For here we have a booking widget. You can customize this if you want to. It's not super pertinent at this point. The title invite, we just have the contact's name for this. and then you can color code it however you want. On this, you're going to have, there's this advanced setting. Now from this section, you can pick your team member. Obviously, most people, it's going to be you. And then down here, after you select yourself, the priority is not super duper important, but you can select from all the different functionalities. Now, typically what I do is I just make it easy, simple. We do custom, and I'm going to do custom Zoom. And then on the meeting location is I'm just going to add in my one single fixed link that I use for almost everything. So no, regardless of when people are scheduling, you don't have to worry about what link they're going to. They just have that one. So there's like this dedicated Zoom link that you can use for all of your webinars. This way it's not creating a new webinar link for every single event that you have. It's just all going back to the same place at the same time. So you can plug that in. That's what I suggest and recommend. And you obviously can grab that from your Zoom account. You can use Zoom by default, and it will create a Zoom event for that. But I prefer to just do the custom and then the hard link there. Now, when you do this, that is going to be, it's going to come through as your like location. So anywhere in your follow-up messages and you have the location, it's going to populate this link, and we already have that pre-programmed on like the follow-up and reminders and stuff. So now moving on, those are the meeting details, all of that information there. Then we have the availability. Now this is where you can get into when do I want to do this. Over here in this section, you can set specific dates and hours, so you could do that in advance. So if you know that like, hey, on this Tuesday at this time, on this Thursday at this time, so on and so forth, you can just schedule it there. So as an example, I'm just going to click Tuesday the 28th. I want to do that one at 7 p.m. and it's going to run 30 minutes. We're doing just a fast to the point, boom. And then I'm going to have that, and then you save that. So that's going to show up over here. Now you can do that. You can add as many of these dates as you want when you're doing this. Just be mindful that when that stops after your last date, there's not going to be anything there. Whereas if you pick, let's say for example, you pick, I want to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'm going to do every single day at noon. I'm going to do one call every day at noon. So it's 12 to, actually let's do 12:30. We don't want to overwhelm people. So it's a low commitment, 12 to 12:30. Every single day. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that, I'm just going to copy this to all the days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So now I have Monday through Friday at noon. I have a 30-minute block on my thing. I'm going to save that. Now I have that come up. And actually will update in real time over here when I refresh this. And now you'll be able to see if it comes through. I gotta update something over here, but not to go too far off track. So staying on course here, you can adjust the stuff here. Once you get into more like, hey, I want to start to restrict the number of people that are showing up, you can actually add in forms to have more questions. So you can have some like pre-qualification stuff. So right now, just name, number, email is all that's required on here. And if you already have people in your contact in your database, you can hit this pre-populate, and it will actually populate all their information for them. You can give them an option to add a guest and invite a guest, so there'll be a spot there if you want them to do that, and you're good to go. You have the ability to just auto confirm the appointments. Now there's notifications and reminders. You can turn these on. We do have all of these set to go into like a standard follow-up where it's like a confirmation email a day before, an hour before, and then 10 minutes before. But there's some additional notifications and reminders that you can set up here. If you want to give people the ability to like reschedule and cancel, you can set that here. You're like, I don't want anybody to be able to cancel or reschedule. Now, going back, I want to touch on something. There's some additional stuff here on the availability. So this is the calendar availability, but then we want to get into stuff here. So this one would be the like meeting interval and duration. If you want to adjust this where it's like the duration of the meeting is going to be 30 minutes and I only want to do, so if you want to crank up a bunch of them, you can kind of play around with this where it's like every hour on the top of the hour. So every hour, and it's only going to go every hour. So every hour, so this would be like the top of the hour. So like, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So depending on how many you want to do, you can adjust this, as much as you want. Now, let's say you only want people to book, 2 weeks in advance. You can set the number of days, weeks, months. So this is just going to go out. Like, it's not going to let somebody book like a month in advance. So in this situation, it's only going to let people book 2 weeks out. And you can do this. If you leave this blank, this is like people can book last minute. So there's no restrictions on people coming to book. If you want to limit the number of people that go, like let's say you got a big list and you want to keep your meetings small, you can adjust that here. So it's like, hey, I don't want more than 50 people booking a day, and I don't want more than 50 people booking a spot. Like maybe you say, hey, I only want 5 people to book per call. So I'm going to do one slot at noon, and I only want 5 people to join. You can do that there. So now we can save that, and that's going to give us the ability to take that. Now I'm not sure if it's going to let me save this because I'll delete this. Let me see if this refreshes here now that I took myself off, because I don't think I have any availability. Okay, yeah. So now when you come in, it's going to show the availability every single day. And let me see if I have set on Eastern time here. So you can see every single day it's at the same time, and each time there's going to be like 5 people that will be allowed to click to join to that. So this way you could see, rather than having one call on Thursday, every other week, you're like, people can join tomorrow. Like, hey, I don't know, I'm not available to, that day, but I am available like Wednesday. I know I have, I can commit to that time, and they can book. So this is a quick and dirty webinar. They're going to get the reminders to show up. You don't have to do anything. There's no other tech setup in regards other than connecting your Zoom link on your platform. So pretty straightforward, quick and dirty. You get higher booking rate, higher showing rate when you have more time, and it's closer to the availability when they book. So hopefully that's helpful. I'll include some of this copy down below that you can use if you're setting this up on your other end, and then you may or may not have access to this depending on if you're a user or you have a webinar upgrade in your account. So appreciate you. If you have any questions on this, don't hesitate.